Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Hairy Muppet, and we are going to be taking a small break from the Home Story Cup number 7 here, and we are going to be casting a Protoss versus Terran game. Down the bottom left side, we do have MC. Of course, MC being in the Home Story Cup. He was in the quarterfinal against Hyun, I believe. He didn't do too well though, but yeah, he is in this game, and up against him is going to be Fuzer, a blue Terran player. And if you've noticed something different so far in this game, it is my microphone. I've bought a very, very nice looking one, and yeah, it is a Rode, I believe, a Rode labeled microphone, R-O-D-E, and they look pretty sweet, and they sound pretty sweet as well. So I'm going to be using this from now on, and hopefully that cuts out a lot of issues in my voice. Well, not in my voice, but in the recording of my voice, which I was noticing. It did sound a little bit funny, but yeah, it sounds a lot better, and I don't have to have the headset wrapped around my neck anymore with the microphone jutting out of it. I've just got the microphone. It's got this very awesome stand thing. You can move the microphone pretty much anywhere you want, and it's all spring-loaded, so it moves very, very nicely. So yes, I am very, very happy about it. It cost me a bit, but I would say it's going to be worth it, especially if it lasts at least a few years. It's definitely going to pay for itself. But yeah, let's get back to this game. MC is going to be starting off with not a whole lot, and Fuzer's going to be doing not a whole lot either. But in the next couple of minutes, we are going to see whether we see some very, very early expansions, whether we see any sort of harass, mostly in the form of a Reaper or factory tech. And yeah, any other sort of crazy mules may be going down. But not too much happening right now. And yeah, the Home Story Cup, man, has been going on. And I've been casting it, and it has been pretty awesome. It's been quite a bit more Zerg than I had expected. I know Zerg is really some of the top level players. In fact, I think there seems to be more top level Zerg players than there are either Protoss or Terran, based on what I've seen in the tournaments. And yeah, it does get to be sometimes it doesn't get to be as epic. It doesn't really have that epic feel most of the time when you have a ZVZ game. I actually cast a ZVZ game last night. There was going to be the interim game between the first and second semi-finals. I was going to cast a ZVZ, and basically I figured, you know what, I found a ZVZ game. It ran for like 47 minutes. I mean, we've got to cast that, because that is going to be it's not going to be just roaches going off against each other. It's going to be something a bit more epic, and it turned out to be swarm hosts. Each army had swarm hosts, and things just grinded for quite a while. There was some very nice Viper micro going in there, some very nice use of infestors and broodlords and stuff like that, but mostly it was just swarm hosts. And yeah, I don't know, man. Swarm hosts, they're very, very interesting for a tactical point of view, but from a casting point of view, it's very hard to pull any excitement out of broodlords. No, sorry, out of swarm hosts. So yes, I did not end up uploading that game, and I was yawning for half of it as well, because I cast it way late at night. So not a good idea. I've decided that I'm not going to cast anything before I go to bed, because I always seem to be yawning. It's one of those things where casting seems to increase the possibility of me yawning and of coughing. If I just sit there and don't say anything, then I feel alright. But as soon as I start casting, the cough starts coming out, and yeah, it's not good at all. So we are going to have a look though at this game, and hopefully it goes alright. This Mothership Core has 2 kills, so it's doing pretty good, but small amount of Marines, they're going to chase it away. This Reaper, meanwhile, doing a good job. I think he's actually got 3 kills, so he's been doing a very good job. All probe kills, and he's completely running around the Stalker. And he might get another couple of kills in here. But here we go. This probe doing a very good job of getting away. Reaper's going to kite these guys off. And is he going to get us around? Not quite. The Reaper's just managing to get away, and I think he managed to kill a probe as well. There we go. There's the surround he was looking for. And that Reaper is going to be absolutely toast, but he was not toast enough in time to miss this Stargate. He has seen it, and yeah, the Terran player is going to know exactly what is coming out from now on. And yeah, meanwhile the Terran player, what is he getting up? Couple more barracks, so he's going to go for some fairly heavy triple M, or at least Marines to start off with, and that should counter pretty much anything that our Protoss player can push out of the Stargate. Now he's going to get an Oracle, and it doesn't really matter how many Marines are on the field, the Oracle will always get at least one kill. Even if it's a Marine kill, it'll always get at least one kill, simply because its damage is so insane once it starts charging up. Now if we have a look at the economy, Protoss player is a little bit ahead, got his expansion out a little bit ahead, but Mule should be able to make up that difference. And yeah, what is going to be going on? We've got one Oracle coming out. He's obviously not going for any sort of massive Oracle push. We have seen that a couple of times, just 2 or 3 Oracles going out constantly sniping bases, but it's just going to be one, going to do a nice quick hit. And he's not sending it in, he's jigging around a little bit there, but he needs to get a move on because a missile turret is going to be finished. He might have had a chance to do some kills in there, but it's too late now, and I don't even know if he's going to get one kill anymore. He sees the missile turret, he decides he does not want to take it, and he just gets out of there straight away. Maybe going to loop around, trying to try and check out the third base, but he knows there's probably not one down there yet. He's going to fly straight over. The Terran player does see that, he's going to have to run back now. And the missile turret is just coming up now for the second base, so this Oracle probably saw that as well, and he's just like, nah, going back home, nothing to do here. And yeah, the Marines coming back up, there might as well not have been any offense at all, so some great use of missile turrets there, but the game is still pretty slow at the moment. Everybody's just feeling their opponent out, getting up the required units, getting up a ton of workers, and yeah, in the next 5 minutes or so, hopefully we see some stuff going on. As soon as people start getting... Ouch. That really hurt. As soon as people start getting third bases out, it's going to start making it... excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. Just had a massive sneeze coming on and decided that you guys would probably appreciate it a little bit more if you just completely missed out on it. So we're going to get back into the game. 4 Phoenix coming out, and they might be able to snatch up a couple of workers. This medevac is going to be in a lot of trouble actually. Luckily no units inside it, but it was going to help out a drop over here. And yes, not a good time for a medevac to be a medevac just flying across the map. Meanwhile the Phoenix, they kind of come back. They're worried about another medevac. Snipe out a single Marine, but they do not want to get close to this group because they will just get completely wiped out. We do have a Twilight Council coming down somewhere. What's this guy doing? Zealot legs. So yeah, the Protoss army looking to get some very good stuff going on. It looks like he's mainly going to be ground based. These guys are going to be doing a great job of harassing and scouting and all that other good stuff, but the Terran player already getting down the third base, and even before it's finished he's getting a missile turret down. So this guy is almost certainly going to get sniped off though, and another medevac just flying straight into the Phoenix. He's going to speed up, but yeah, the Phoenix man just able to knock that medevac out, and a really good job by Fuzer moving his forces back to defend his base, and he didn't quite manage to save that medevac, but he nearly got one Phoenix, just stayed alive by the skin of its teeth, and it's going to regen its shields and still be able to do half effectiveness, last for half as long when it gets those shields back up. Meanwhile, we've got a bit of a ground force coming out, probably just going to defend his third base when it comes up. So the Protoss knows he's a little bit behind on his third base. He's got to start getting that up fairly soon. Sorry. He'd love to snipe a medevac there, but with the stim on these guys, I don't think it's going to happen. So there we go. We're going to go around, and we're hoping to see a drop on the main area, but yeah, as long as he keeps his medevacs close to his Marines, he should be fine. This guy is not going to be doing very well. He did get a scout out there, and he saw a large amount of Zealots. He knows his opponent has a large amount of Zealots, so he's starting to get some Hellbats now. He may have already been planning for those, but he is definitely going to want to get them now that he has seen the Zealots on the map, and yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. Phoenix coming around, doing a bit more of a flyby. We do have Storm on the way, as well as the Protoss going for some very nice upgrades actually. He's already got 1 armor, but no, not so much on the weapons. Meanwhile, the Terran player only has 1 weapon, and he's going for 2 weapons but no armor, so completely opposites with these guys. And the medevac just manages to slip by these Phoenix. They're really flying around a lot to try and scout these medevacs. But they're over the group of Marines now and not quite getting able to do anything. This Phoenix just able to survive again. I think this was the same one. And these medevacs, man, they are not in the right position. They are going to be really in trouble, but he's not too worried about him at the moment. He's more worried about this force in there. And yes, it would be nice to see the Phoenix flanking these guys at the back. The storm's starting to come down and just hitting Hellbats so far, so that's good, but he's got to be very worried about the Marines. Stimming in a group, they get hit by a storm straight away. Another storm coming down, and enough storms will waste all those Hellbats. Hellbats trying to survive, but just so many storms on them, and the Zealots taking them out, and meanwhile it's just the Triple M left. And a lot of Marines taking a lot of damage there from the storm, so he's going to have to back off. Meanwhile, he's morphing a lot of those High Templar into Archons, and he really got a lot of High Templar out in a very short amount of time. So 15 minutes he had like 6-7 Templar, so really great job there. And he's going to continue moving in, continue to press his advantage. He doesn't really have too much of an advantage. I suppose he has the tech advantage with High Templar and Archon on the field. The Terran player is starting to get his Ghost Tech up now, but it's not there yet. He's probably only got a couple of Ghosts. Nice little pause there, and the Phoenix coming down. Another one getting hit by the Widow Mine, but does not die. I think that was a new one with full health. So yeah, not good for him. Meanwhile, a couple of Zealots running around. They have an idea that the 4th base may be there. He doesn't know yet, but he's going to run around and have a check. And that Zealot may be able to do quite a bit of damage. And here come the Ghost putting down a nice EMP. And the Protoss decides he does not want to attack at that point. He's just going to let the Terran player just go around and do whatever he wants to do. These Zealots got to move off to the 4th base now, but a Widow Mine, they should have taken the other ramp. Yeah, that is not good for those Zealots, but they still managed to survive. And at the very least, they're going to force the command center to run off. It's not fully built yet, so it cannot be lifted off, and he is going to have to do something about that. Meanwhile, some nice storms coming down, but the Terran force, man, quite a lot of Marauders and Hellbats, so they're quite bulky at this point. But the Archon's getting into range, doing a crap load of damage. Phoenix trying vainly to take out the medevacs. Managed to get a few of them, so that is some good stuff. But the Storms and the Archons together just completely annihilating this Terran force, and he really needs a solid counter for the Archons because they're starting to get quite a lot of them. Zealots forcing this command center to go down. The Terran did not have enough to take care of this army and save that command center at the same time, or maybe he just cancelled it. And the Protoss forces starting to get whittled down though. One Archon's just about to go down. This one's going to get finished off as well. And yeah, Fuzer, man, has got to get a lot more Marauders out. I would say he's getting the Ghosts out, which are good. 2 or 3 EMPs just completely wipe out Archons. But Marauders, yeah, are going to be extremely good at getting those Archons down, just to keep them out of melee range, out of their... They've got a very short range, and if the Marauders hit them enough times, they have a lot of trouble getting into that range, and then you can stim and run, and the Archons have no chance of chasing after you. But you need Marauders to do that. Marines stimming and running are, they're alright, but they're not quite as good as Marauders stimming and running, simply because the Marauders have the slow attack. But in the middle of all this, he's still got to worry about the storms. And a nice little time warp there, going to be slowing some of these guys from getting away. And Archon's just going down, the Terran player. He's definitely been getting up the forces. If we have a look at the income, he's not ahead, but I guess the Marines and the Marauders cost a lot less than the bloody Archons. And Archons are starting to get whittled down now. He's just going mainly Zealots at the moment, trying to push something in here. He's got the money he needs to build those guys, but he's not really doing it. He's actually putting down a Nexus here. So I can only assume that he wants to overcharge this with a Mothership Core and really use it to push in, but yeah, that's a very crazy move going on here. I've not seen this before, but yeah, it might work. I mean, if you'd have to get up a couple of... Actually, you can only have one Mothership Core at a time, so yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. You can't be thinking about warping units onto this Nexus because, I mean, all these units are here already. So, I'm not sure what that's going to be. It's got to be for overcharging it from the Mothership Core. And yeah, that's going to be a huge amount of damage if Fuzer is silly enough to run his forces out and start attacking this Nexus. He's going to move the one Ghost out, and the question is, does he have any nukes? I don't think he does. There we go, the Nexus getting overcharged, and those guys are just going to have to run away straight away. The Protoss pursuing, but they pursue right into a couple of Widow Mines. And, oh man, getting the Storms down on the SCVs, that was absolutely brutal right there. And yeah, not very good at all. This Nexus overcharge just lasts forever. Does so much damage. I think there's 3-shotting Marines, 4-shotting Ghosts. And he's given him enough time to get out the Colossus. And yes, what is going to happen from here? The Colossus, I think it actually is going to take 2 Ghost hits to shrink down those shields, because they've got quite a lot of shields. And the Terran player is utterly unprepared for Colossus. He does not have any Vikings at all. He's getting a couple now though, so that should be cool. Actually, it looks like 1 EMP did take it out, or maybe that was 2, I really can't say. But the very long range from those guys, going to be able to take this down, and he was hoping by taking this to shoot out a couple of SCVs on the side. And yeah, the damage is actually going to be taking these down. The Ghosts, what is he thinking? Is he thinking of a nuke here? A nuke could be an extremely good play from this position, especially if he nukes it from over there. The Protoss might be able to snipe it with the Colossus, but then again, maybe not. And yeah, the Terran player, man, he is in a bit of a bind over there. But the Colossus, they're not going to be able to take down this command center anytime soon. They are going to go straight for the SCVs though, but they're a little bit quirky. They don't want to go too close to the Vikings. And an EMP coming down is going to snipe down a lot of their health, and the Vikings starting to do their hits. And they're going to have to run away, moving in some Stalkers and Archons to try and defend that. But the Colossus harass is going to have to end here. And I'm not sure what the Protoss player can do at this point. He is getting down a 4th base. And he's got a Zealot waiting up here to stop the Terran player getting a 4th base. So he's in a very, very good position at this point. He's got quite a lot ahead. And this is, yeah, all from taking down so many workers. You can see he's really, really knocked down the worker count. With the Storm he got there before, and with the Colossus, and he's maxed out now, so he's just going to push in and see how it goes, and it is going very, very well from him. The Terran player just is not able to build up enough to defend this massive, massive push, and the Protoss player coming out with the win. Really did some great tech options, High Templar and the Colossus, of course, versus Triple M, very, very good. And the Terran player, he went for Ghost, but at that point he hadn't managed to get his 4th up. And the Storms on his army just did a really, really, really good job. He did not have the Ghosts that early. He only got him after the Protoss started getting the High Templar out, and by that time it was just too late. So congratulations to MC for that win. And this was actually from the home story. So yeah, we saw him in the quarterfinals, so you know that he did win this game. He could have lost it. Is like a best of 3 or something like that, but yes, he did win it, and he is continuing to go on, and we've already cast that game, so you've already seen it. But thank you very much for watching, and I gotta say, I love this new mic. It is quite awesome. But there we go. I will catch you guys later, and we'll get on to the second series of semi-finals very, very soon. It is going to be Tasia versus TLO, and really looking forward to it. I'll catch you guys later.